Hello students, welcome to the lecture on coordination in a supply chain management, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Describe about coordination theory, understand lack of supply chain coordination and the bullwhip effect, discuss obstacle to coordination in supply chain, describe about managerial levels, explain the continuous replenishment, understand the vendor-managed inventory, define the collaborative planning, discuss forecasting, describe replenishment. Let us start with the introduction of coordination in a supply chain management. A firm needs to develop effective coordination within and beyond its boundaries in order to maximize the potential for converting competitive advantage into profitability. Coordinating the rate of order fulfillment to match actual consumption is successful from the customer's point of view if it results in satisfying a customer's delivery date and lowers logistics costs. Tracking daily sales enables the suppliers to differentiate popular from slow-moving items and to respond quickly either to replenish or to discontinue the items in retail stores. Tight coordination between Walmart and its key suppliers dramatically increases product availability and reduces inventory costs. Coordination among independent firms is the key to attaining the flexibility necessary to enable them to progressively improve logistics processes in response to rapidly changing market conditions. Poor coordination among the chain members can cause dysfunctional operational performance. Some of the negative consequences of poor coordination include higher inventory costs, longer delivery times, higher transportation costs, higher levels of loss and damage, and lowered customer service. Since changes that occur in any one of the chain members are likely to affect the performance of the others, coordination is useful for managing interdependent logistics activities in order to mitigate demand variability and unnecessary inventory. A process of planning, executing and controlling the interdependencies of activities carried out by different supply chain members or business units in order to create value for the end customer is known as supply chain management. Supply chain managers are increasingly recognizing the need to eliminate supply chain inefficiencies and align the decisions and their execution more closely between the trading partners in order to achieve balance between supply and demand. Due to improved information availability, integration has become an alternative for supply chain parties.
All good supply chains lead to a customer. Little does the customer know that when they buy a bottle of water at the store, click to finalize a book sale at an online retailer, or even order a pizza by phone, that they have potentially activated a global supply chain. The simple process of ordering and paying have activated dozens, if not hundreds, of business processes that must be carried out effectively to make sure that you get what you want, when and where you want it, and at a reasonable price that still allows the company to make a profit. Let's suppose you do purchase a book online. Which processes have you activated? Picking, packing, labeling, and shipping. In addition, you have activated a series of processes required to restock that book, ship the replacement book from the supplier, stock the book in the warehouse, pay the supplier for the book, and probably dozens of other processes. Each of those processes takes time, utilizes resources, and may require an employee that will need to be hired, trained, and motivated to carry out the process to perfection over and over again. But effective business process management opens up the opportunity for enormous savings of time and money. Just think about an overnight shipper that delivers millions of packages per day. If they can save even 1 second of processing time on each package, they can save millions of seconds and thousands of dollars. Supply chain managers are responsible for designing, managing, and improving this incredible series of interconnected processes that tie together the supply chain from point of sale to suppliers worldwide. We live in a world where top supply chain executives are responsible for thousands of employees in hundreds of locations. A well-designed business process that can be easily understood, managed, and monitored can provide top executives the ability to successfully manage from a great distance. And high-quality business processes enable growth. The most successful entrepreneurs and corporations understand this. McDonald's, Starbucks, Dell, and Southwest Airlines. They're all huge and successful because of their effective, efficient, and adaptable business processes that allow customers worldwide to continually have high-quality business experiences that are nearly identical no matter where the location, with whichever corporate representative they encounter. Conversely, customers are shocked when they have a poor business experience because they've come to expect perfection through the entire process. So, when your favorite restaurant messes up your order, you can bet at least one business process has been compromised. Business processes can sound cryptic and tedious, but supply chain managers that understand the power of good process design and improvement can find the fast path to success because they see every process as an opportunity to add value and minimize waste. So, next time you order a book from your favorite online retailer, not only will you understand the controlled chaos you've initiated, you will also know your book is being closely monitored by a world-class supply chain manager that understands the value of business processes.
Supply chain coordination. All stages in the supply chain take actions together. SC coordination requires that each stage takes into account the effects of its actions on the other stages. Coordination is the management of dependencies between activities. The purpose of coordination is to achieve collectively goals that individual actors cannot meet. Coordination capability is affected by two main issues: information sharing and allocating decision rights across channel members. There are two approaches to achieve coordination. The first is to centralize decision making to a single entity, which attempts to optimize the network. The second type is decentralized decision making that utilizes coordination mechanisms. Dependencies between activities are a prerequisite for coordination. If there are no dependencies, there is no need to coordinate. These dependencies stem from the lack of ability to control all the conditions necessary to achieve an action or a desired outcome. Coordination is defined as an explicit understanding about key drivers of coordination modes that affect supply chain performance. Key drivers refer to a number of solutions or interventions in a specific coordination mode to improve supply chain performance. Supply chain coordination. All stages in the supply chain take actions together. SC coordination requires that each stage takes into account the effects of its actions on the other stages. Lack of coordination results when objectives of different stages conflict or information moving between stages is distorted. The effect of lack of coordination on performance. Manufacturing cost, inventory cost, replenishment lead time, transportation cost, labor cost for shipping and receiving, level of product availability, relationships across the supply chain. Bullwhip effect. The bullwhip effect is the magnification of demand fluctuations, not the magnification of demand. The bullwhip effect is evident in a supply chain when demand increases and decreases. The effect is that these increases and decreases are exaggerated up the supply chain. The essence of the bullwhip effect is that orders to suppliers tend to have larger variance than sales to the buyer. The more chains in the supply chain, the more complex this issue becomes. This distortion of demand is amplified the farther demand is passed up the supply chain. Companies can effectively counteract the bullwhip effect by thoroughly understanding its underlying causes. Industry leaders are implementing innovative strategies that pose new challenges, integrating new information systems, defining new organizational relationships, implementing new incentive and measurement systems. What contributes to the bullwhip effect? There are many factors said to cause or contribute to the bullwhip effect in supply chains. The following list names a few. Disorganization between each supply chain link, with ordering larger or smaller amounts of a product than is needed due to an over or under reaction to the supply chain beforehand. Lack of communication between each link in the supply chain makes it difficult for processes to run smoothly. Managers can perceive a product demand quite differently within different links of the supply chain and therefore order different quantities. Free return policies. Customers may intentionally overstate demands due to shortages and then cancel when the supply becomes adequate again. Without return forfeit, retailers will continue to exaggerate their needs and cancel orders, resulting in excess material. Order batching. Companies may not immediately place an order with their supplier, often accumulating the demand first. Companies may order weekly or even monthly. This creates variability in the demand, as there may, for instance, be a surge in demand at some stage followed by no demand after. Price variations. Special discounts and other cost changes can upset regular buying patterns. Buyers want to take advantage on discounts offered during a short time period. This can cause uneven production and distorted demand information. Demand information. Relying on past demand information to estimate current demand information of a product does not take into account any fluctuations that may occur in demand over a period of time. Incentive obstacles. When incentives offered to different stages or participants in a supply chain lead to actions that increase variability and reduce total supply chain profits, misalignment of total supply chain objectives and individual objectives. Local optimization within functions or stages of a supply chain. Sales force incentives information processing obstacles. When demand information is distorted as it moves between different stages of the supply chain, leading to increased variability in orders within the supply chain. Forecasting based on orders, not customer demand. Forecasting demand based on orders magnifies demand fluctuations, moving up the supply chain from retailer to manufacturer. Lack of information sharing operational obstacles. Actions taken in the course of placing and filling orders that lead to an increase in variability. Ordering in large lots, large replenishment lead times, rationing and shortage gaming pricing obstacles. When pricing policies for a product lead to an increase in variability of orders placed. Lot size based quantity decisions, price fluctuations, behavioral obstacles. Problems in learning, often related to communication in the supply chain and how the supply chain is structured. Each stage of the supply chain views its actions locally and is unable to see the impact of its actions on other stage. In every company, there are 7 distinct managerial levers. All 7 levers must be linked, consistent, and working together to maximize an organization's efficiency and profitability. If there is a problem in a company, It usually lies somewhere in these 7. The 7 managerial levers: strategy, structure, leadership, people, info, decision process, culture, rewards. Managerial levers to achieve coordination: aligning goals and incentives, improving information accuracy, improving operational performance, designing pricing strategies to stabilize orders, building strategic partnerships and trust. Aligning goals and incentives. Align incentives so that each participant has an incentive to do the things that will maximize total supply chain profits. Align incentives across functions. Pricing for coordination. Alter sales force incentives from sell-in to sell-through. Improving information accuracy. Sharing point of sale data, collaborative forecasting and planning, single stage control of replenishment, continuous replenishment programs CRP, vendor managed inventory VMI, improving operational performance, reducing replenishment lead time, reduces uncertainty in demand, EDI is useful, reducing lot sizes, computer assisted ordering, B2B exchanges, shipping in LTL sizes by combining shipments, technology and other methods to simplify receiving, changing customer ordering behavior, rationing based on past sales and sharing information to limit gaming, turn and earn, information sharing, designing pricing strategies to stabilize orders, encouraging retailers to order in smaller lots and reduce forward buying, moving from lot size based to volume based quantity discounts, consider total purchases over a specified time period, stabilizing pricing, eliminate promotions, everyday low pricing EDLP, limit quantity purchased during a promotion, tie promotion payments to sell through rather than amount, building strategic partnerships and trust in a supply chain. Background: designing a relationship with cooperation and trust, managing supply chain relationships for cooperation and trust, trust-based relationship, dependability, leap of faith, cooperation and trust work because alignment of incentives and goals, actions to achieve coordination are easier to implement, supply chain productivity improves by reducing duplication or allocation of effort to appropriate stage, greater information sharing results purchased. Continuous replenishment is a process by which a supplier is notified daily of actual sales or warehouse shipments and commits to replenishing these sales without stock outs and without receiving replenishment orders. The result is a lowering of associated costs and an improvement in inventory turnover. Continuous replenishment is based on the principle of pulled logistics, where the replenishment of a warehouse takes place on the basis of information about sales and other factors necessary for efficient replenishment in the supply chain. Continuous replenishment program CRP changes the traditional replenishment process of retailer generated orders to one of partnership amongst trading partners, where the supplier determines the replenishment quantities based on information on stock and sales received from the customer. The challenge: with the increased focus on producing and delivering a wider variety of goods more cost effectively than the competition, supply chain expenses are being scrutinized as never before. Organizations are constantly challenged to find the right balance between delivering goods on time to customer specifications and the need to continually optimize loads, maximize deliveries, and fully utilize transportation assets. Every day, traffic and logistics managers are focused on optimizing the plant to depot flow of goods, the loading of each vehicle, developing cost-effective delivery schedules, and meeting delivery time windows and inventory requirements. Of course, while all of this is going on, they also need to deal with inaccurate forecasts and limited supplies. The solution: continuous replenishment. A customized continuous replenishment implementation enables these decision makers to consolidate information from various sources to develop rationalized plans that optimally balance available resources, constraints, and opportunities. Contrary to the problem of supply chain network design, there is no definite single mathematical modeling technique or heuristic that can be applied successfully to all types of replenishment problems. As with most technology implementations, these algorithms and heuristics will be determined as a function of the scope and operational problem to be solved. The application, though, will maintain the same framework and interface common to all our solutions. As part of our replenishment solutions, we have deployed customized algorithms and heuristics in the following areas: forecasting and inventory control, distribution requirement planning, load building and consolidation, dispatch scheduling, routing, synchronization of demand and supply. Key features: offers an integrated and automated forecasting to delivery solution, incorporates state-of-the-art dispatching, routing, inventory control, and scheduling algorithms, synchronizes demand and product supply, synchronizes dispatch and destination time windows, integrates and interfaces with corporate sources of data, SAP, JD Edwards, Oracle, etc., offers graphical, mapping, and reporting display of data and schedules, customizes implementations to fit organizational needs and restrictions. Key benefits: increases order accuracy and on-time delivery performance, decreases transportation costs due to better utilization factors, improves transport asset utilization, facilitates development of what-if scenarios, empowers decision makers to rationalize transportation assets, increases overall process effectiveness due to improved synchronization. How does it work? Continuous replenishment is based on the regular communication of the stock equation by a customer to its supplier and on a willingness of trading partners to share as widely as possible all information concerning the category of product. The components of the stock equation are established from information collected in the retail outlet or warehouse according to the responsibilities of the entities participating in the shared replenishment. Continuous replenishment can be set up just as successfully in a warehouse as in retail outlets. The volumes dealt with, the product category, and the organization of the trading partners determine the level of the application. Vendor managed inventory simply means the vendor manages the inventory of the distributor. The manufacturer receives electronic messages, usually via EDI, from the distributor. These messages tell the manufacturer various bits of information, such as what the distributor has sold and what they have currently in inventory. The manufacturer reviews this information and decides when it is appropriate to generate a purchase order. The goal of VMI is to align business objectives and streamline supply chain operations for both suppliers and their customers. The business value is a direct result of increased information flow. Improved inventory, turns, improved service, increased sales. How does it work? The basic vendor managed inventory (VMI) process can be described in terms of the following steps. data communications, calculations, monitoring and reporting. Data communications and calculations. The VMI process starts with the customer sending a product activity report. This report contains demand information such as sales and transfers, along with inventory position information such as on hand, on order and in transit for the items that changed since the last report. The VMI software analyzes the data and creates recommended replenishment orders. The recommendations are based on algorithms which use factors such as forecasts, frequency of sale, and dollar velocity of sales. Ideally, these processes include periodic review and calculation of order points and order quantities based on movement data and special information such as promotions, seasonality, etc. Frequent comparison of on-hand inventory to order point and generation of recommended replenishment orders. The supplier's planner reviews the recommended orders and any exception conditions before approving appropriate orders. The VMI system then sends a purchase order to the supplier, a purchase order acknowledgement to the customer, monitoring and reporting. When trading partners begin VMI, they start by agreeing upon objectives for inventory turns, fill rates, transaction costs. The system monitors actual activity with measurements against those objectives. The system must report the same information to both the supplier and the customer so that the process is highly transparent. Information should always be available to both parties on demand. Ideally, the VMI system should also approve exception alerts to both parties when measurements get outside an acceptable range or when a problem with the data appears. Keys to success with VMI. Although the basic concept of VMI is straightforward, successful deployment is not necessarily easy. There are several keys to success. Recognize that VMI is not for everyone. First, companies should recognize that VMI is not for everyone. Suppliers and customers should only consider VMI for trading partners that are important to them. Suppliers and customers can only do VMI with trading partners that have reasonably solid basic operational capabilities. Understand that VMI is collaborative. Second, VMI is different from a typical in-house information system or business process improvement effort in that neither the supplier nor the customer can do it alone. They must work together to make it happen. Both companies must have mutual trust, a fundamentally good working relationship, and an environment that fosters collaboration. Do not underestimate the importance of the VMI operations platform. Third, VMI requires a technology and operations platform that is designed around a deep understanding of inventory and supply chain management, more than just performing the right calculations, designed with a solid understanding of issues like varying demand patterns, different supply chain structures, example, hub and spoke versus direct store delivery, multi-location shipping and delivery, and many others. Built to facilitate consistent, effective communication between the customer and supplier. Provides common information to both parties so the process is transparent. Provides valid information so people will trust it. Exception-oriented so people can focus their efforts where action is needed instead of wading through data. Manage to ensure reliable operation day in and day out. A data center with high availability using techniques such as redundancy, failover, 24/7 management. Communications management that monitors for expected transmissions, automates retries, and alerts when down. Skilled people ready to quickly resolve problems. Collaborative planning builds on the best-in-class practices that have been developed through successfully jointly managed inventory and vendor managed inventory (VMI) programs. These practices have been captured here and articulated as the guiding principles for collaborative planning. Collaborative planning has the potential to deliver increased sales, organizational streamlining and alignment, administrative and operational efficiency, improved cash flow, improved return on assets, ROA performance. Forecasting is a process of predicting or estimating the future based on past and present data. Forecasting provides information about the potential future events and their consequences for the organization. It may not reduce the complications and uncertainty of the future. However, it increases the confidence of the management to make important decisions. Forecasting is the basis of premising. Forecasting uses many statistical techniques. Therefore, it is also called as statistical analysis. Forecasting is used to answer important questions such as how much profit will the business make? How much demand will there be for a product or service? How much will it cost to produce the product or offer the service? How much money will the company need to borrow? When and how will borrowed funds be repaid? Why is forecasting important to an organization? Financial forecasting is important for several reasons. First, it enables management to change operations at the right time in order to reap the greatest benefit. It also helps the company prevent losses by making the proper decisions based on relevant information. Stockholder expectations highlight another reason behind the importance of forecasting. Public companies experience scrutiny and pressure for short-term performance from investors. Features of forecasting peculiarities, characteristics, or features of forecasting are as follows. Forecasting in concern with future events. It shows the probability of happening of future events. It analyzes past and present data. It uses statistical tools and techniques. It uses personal observations. Importance of forecasting. Merits, significance, or importance of forecasting involves the following points. Forecasting provides relevant and reliable information about the past and present events and the likely future events. This is necessary for sound planning. It gives confidence to the managers for making important decisions. It is the basis for making planning premises. It keeps managers active and alert to face the challenges of future events and the changes in the environment. Replenishment is the movement of inventory from upstream or reserve product storage locations to downstream or primary storage, picking and shipment locations. The purpose of replenishment is to keep inventory flowing through the supply chain by maintaining efficient order and line item fill rates. The process helps prevent costly inventory overstocking. Inventory replenishment is defined as relocation of material from a warehouse or bulk storage area to an order pickup or shipment area. The relocation of the material needs to be documented. Some of the most important factors of inventory replenishment are lead time, order quantity, and the replenishment intervals. Replenishment is also a process that occurs regularly. How often? Because you pay for stock monthly, it is most efficient to place orders once a month. Any more frequent replenishment duplicates the amount of effort required to order, receive, check, and price stock. Any less frequent means that you are not taking full advantage of the supplier's storage and monthly credit terms. Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learnt in this lecture. The bullwhip effect is the magnification of demand fluctuations, not the magnification of demand. Continuous replenishment is a process by which a supplier is notified daily of actual sales or warehouse shipments and commits to replenishing these sales by size, color, and so on without stock outs and without receiving replenishment orders. CRP, continuous replenishment, is the practice of partnering between distribution channel members that changes the traditional replenishment process from distributor generated purchase orders based on economic order quantities to the replenishment of products based on actual and forecasted product demand. Vendor managed inventory (VMI) is a process in which a supplier generates orders for its distributor based on demand information sent by the distributor. Collaborative planning builds on the best-in-class practices that have been developed through successful jointly managed inventory and vendor managed inventory (VMI) programs.